Happy Flossmas, everyone! Happy Flossmas Day 10. Today is Wednesday, December 10th, and we are back for another daily update. My name is Andrew, this is Winston, and my channel, The Runner Stitcher, about cross-stitching and a little bit about running as well. I did manage to get outside and go for a 5-mile run this morning, and that felt really good to get back out again and get some movement. It wasn't quite as cold today. It was in the low 30s Fahrenheit instead of the teens, which it has been the past 2 days. So that was really nice to just get back outside and have that little run again today. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I've got 4 projects to share today. I actually got more stitching done yesterday than I thought I would, so I hope you enjoy the stitching that's to come, and let's just jump right into and start with the Advent. So as you know, we have been opening this Trader Joe's chocolate Advent calendar, and if you have a Trader Joe's near you and you like little chocolates and Advent calendars, these are so great because the chocolates are super cute, and I think this was only $1.99 or something like that. It's very cheap and a lot of fun. So let's find day number 10. 10 is right here in the top of this green bow, and let's see what our chocolate is today. Ooh, it looks cute. What is it today? Oh, today we've got a bell. So I'm gonna put this in front of my face. Hopefully it will focus. We've got this cute bell with some ribbons around it there, tassels. I think that's what it is. Or maybe it's a sack of toys. I don't know. Tell me what you think it is. Is it a sack of toys? Is it a bell? But very cute. So if you're having a treat with me, now is the time. I'm really grateful for this like warmer stretch. It's not warm by any means, but warmer than in the teens, because the past 2 days have just been brutally cold, to the point where when Winston and I go for a walk outside, he doesn't last very long. He goes outside, does his business, and comes right back in. So I'm grateful for the sun out today and a little bit more warmth in the day. Speaking of Winston, now is his time to open his calendar. Are you ready for this one, bud? This is Winston's freeze-dried chicken treat calendar, and we're at day 10, so we're gonna open this little cutie right here. What do you think we're gonna get, Winston? Oh, what is this? He's excited. So I'm gonna open this and I'll be right back. All right, you would be surprised how hard it is to open those tiny little bags of treats, but Winston is already doing all the things, clearly. He's very excited for what's in my hand. So let's just go ahead. Can you high five? Oh, you're gonna high 10 today? Here you go, bud. He loves his treats. Next up, I wanna talk about the music. So today I have picked a song to add to the Spotify playlist of Christmas music this season, and that song is Do You Hear What I Hear from Martina McBride. And this is just a beautiful rendition of this song. I love her voice. It's something that I listened to kind of growing up. We listened to Martina McBride, and her Christmas album was one of my favorites, and so I'm excited to share that one with you today. I hope you enjoy it as well. You can always check for that link below to check out the playlist. And now let's jump into the stitching, because I do have a fair amount to share today. So the first project I've got for you is the daily piece I'm working on, the tiny Advent calendar, not tiny, the tiny Modernist Advent calendar banner. And here is where I got to this time. So you will see the motif that I added this time was this coffee mug right here. Actually, it's probably hot chocolate in there, because look at the whipped cream on top, the candy cane sitting inside, that beautiful mug with the trees on it. I thought that was very, very cute. Now, I will say something is off with my truck here. And the reason I know that is because there are supposed to be 2 spaces in between these motifs here instead of just 1. So the mug, the cocoa, is in the right spot because I definitely counted that off of this border here. The truck, however, I think is off by a square. I think it's down 1 too far and up 1 or an over 1 too far or something. Anyway, everything still fit, so I just decided to keep it because there are other motifs that are added in, and I think some of them are only 1 space between them, so I'm hoping it won't look bad in the end. But now I'm nervous because if the truck was off and I counted the snowflakes off of the truck, that might mean that the snowflake border is 1 stitch off. So I am hoping that it's all gonna be okay. I think with just one stitch off, you're not gonna notice it quite as much, and maybe it will be fine in the end, but time will tell, I guess. And there's no way I'm frogging the truck and the border and the sleigh underneath. So I'm hoping as we fill in more, it will look okay, and we can go from there. But if not, this will just be a personalized version of the banner, and maybe everything won't be quite centered or quite in the right spot, but I think because it's the banner, it's gonna be okay. Like, these don't have to line up specifically, because if they're one stitch off, it's gonna look okay, since there's not actually a border going down to connect. But that is the latest drama with the Advent Calendar banner. I'm still really enjoying it, and this cocoa mug hot chocolate was a lot of fun to stitch. It was a nice amount of stitches too, maybe about 200 or 300 stitches, so a doable amount for the day, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I'm still loving the colors in this, and it's really good. I also have been forgetting to mention with this, but I'm actually using the Royal Broidery floss for this. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I'm not using the DMC. And I think the colors with the Royal Broidery are actually a little bit punchier. They're like just a little bit brighter maybe, and I'm absolutely loving it for this piece. I will say the floss is a little bit drier than DMC. It tends to like tangle a bit more, and maybe I can't use quite of long lengths of thread, but still really liking it. So thought I would give that a try for this piece. But yeah, that is my update on this piece, and hopefully these other motifs will come in and it'll all look okay once we get them all together. The next piece I worked on was my other daily stitch, and this is Jane's Joy from Carolyn Manning. Beautiful cross-stitch pattern based on a quilt from the 1800s. And I continued in the border still. I added another tree, so I will show you where I'm at now. So this time I added this red tree right down here on the side. And now we've got sort of the full image of the border on both sides. And I think it might be time to hop into the center. Now, a viewer yesterday had a good comment on this piece, and they asked the question of whether or not I should consider stitching everything in the center, like the center blocks, using one strand. And I'm actually tempted to do that. So it would mean I would stitch the whole border in the 2 strands like I have been, so it would look very similar to that. But then the inside blocks I would stitch just using 1 strand. Let me know what you think about that. The reason for that being, this is a really tight fabric, and I think it might be a 36 count or even maybe a 40 count. And so the 2 strands of floss, it is looking just rather bunchy and on those trees. I don't mind it so much. I think it still looks good. But when you get into the blocks in the center, that is going to be more full coverage in those blocks. And I'm wondering if it's just going to be too much with 2 strands of floss. So let me know what you think. I might actually try it for this first block just to see if I like it and if the contrast is okay between 1 strand and 2. And yeah, maybe I'll continue 2 strands for the border, and then I think using 1 strand in the blocks will be more enjoyable to stitch in the future. So let me know what you think, and we can talk about that. But I do think within the next day or two, I'm going to get into the block. Finally. We're 10 days in, it's time to get a block completed, so I should do that. The next piece I've got for you is the new start I had yesterday, and that is the gingerbread house. I don't have really any information from this, but this was from a advent calendar I was given that didn't turn out quite the way I had expected, but I'm happy to say I finished the little gingerbread house. Well, I finished the stitching. So that is what the cute little house looks like, and I thought it'd be fun, so I didn't do any of the back stitching. So I thought it'd be fun to show you this today without any back stitching. And then hopefully today I will have time to complete all the back stitching on this piece. And then I'll come back tomorrow and show you the difference. We can do kind of like a side-by-side comparison of the backstitch version and the non-backstitch, so you can see what a difference that backstitching really makes. But I still think this is super cute. There were some quarter stitches in here in the lamppost and also in the candy canes and in the wreath. So that was fun to punch through the Ada. But I think it turned out really cute. I love this little piece, and I'm excited to get the back stitching done. But yeah, this was a quick little stitch, but still a fair number of stitches in there, and yeah, I had fun with it. So I hope you enjoyed this little gingerbread as well. Come back tomorrow and you'll see it backstitched. And then I had just a little bit of time before I left for dinner last night, and so I pulled out the Christmas Thoughts sampler from the Drawn Thread. That is what this piece is going to look like. I'm still up at the top because this is a very recent new start. And let me show you what I got to. So I added one more motif, and that was this tree right here. So just a little bit of stitching, but this is so fun. I love this piece so much. This is really, really enjoyable to stitch on. I find myself just kind of getting in the zone, feeling Christmassy with the colors, and yeah, I just really enjoy it. It's a great fabric to work on. I think it's a 32 counts Lugana, and I've just, yeah, it's super cute, really been enjoying it. I did have a suggestion from Sarah at Sarah's Stitchy Spot that even though I put the buttons in here for the holly, that I should wait to put the rest of the buttons in until I'm finished with all the stitching so that I can iron it first. And I didn't even think about that I would need to iron it, and it'd be really difficult to do that after the buttons are on. So I think I will be waiting to add the rest of the buttons. I was very tempted because at the top of this tree right here, there is a star button. So the Christmas tree will have a star at the top of it. So I was very, very tempted last night to add the button in, but I held off because I do agree with what she said. I think it will be easier to iron and then add all the buttons towards the end. So yeah, you won't see the buttons until later, but this is the Christmas Thoughts sampler. And that's all the stitching I've got for you. So I hope you enjoyed the update on those 4 projects. Again, tomorrow I'll be working on my 2 daily pieces, and then hopefully the back stitching of the gingerbread house to complete that. And who knows what else I'll get up to. So come back tomorrow and find out. I also did want to point out this cute Christmas card that I received from a viewer. I definitely wanted to share this. I think the colors are beautiful and the design is great. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted this during one of the videos. So I hope you enjoy seeing that as much as I did. And now let's get into the story. So I'm reading The Fir Tree by Hans Christian Andersen, and I believe we only have today and tomorrow left. I think tomorrow is the last day of this story. So I'm gonna read today's part, and I'm actually gonna start with the last paragraph of yesterday's, just so that it's all a little bit more congruent and you can remember where we were. So the first paragraph you'll have heard yesterday. The little mice also kept away after this, and the tree sighed and said, "It was very pleasant when the merry little mice sat round me and listened while I talked. Now that is all past too. However, I shall consider myself happy when someone comes to take me out of this place." But would this ever happen? Yes. One morning, people came to clear out the garret. The boxes were packed away, and the tree was pulled out of the corner and thrown roughly on the garret floor. Then the servant dragged it out upon the staircase where the daylight shone. "Now life is beginning again," said the tree. "Rejoice in the sunshine and fresh air." Then it was carried downstairs and taken into the courtyard so quickly that it forgot to think of itself and could only look about. There was so much to be seen. The court was close to a garden where everything looked blooming. Fresh and fragrant roses hung over the little palings. The linden trees were in blossom, while the swallows flew here and there, crying, "Twit, twit, twit, my mate is coming." But it was not the fir tree they meant. "Now I shall live," cried the tree, joyfully spreading out its branches. But alas, they were all withered and yellow, and it lay in a corner amongst weeds and nettles. The star of gold paper still stuck in the top of the tree and glittered in the sunshine. So that is the next update on our little fir tree. He's now being taken outside and realizing that his branches are dying, and he's thinking there might be some life, but also realizing kind of what's happening. So come back tomorrow and we'll hear the final part of the story, and I'll talk a little bit about it and what I got out of the meaning of this story. And I think that's all Winston and I have for you today. So thank you so much for stopping by and joining us in this festive season as we get closer to the Christmas countdown. We've got 15 days left. It's coming quickly. So I hope you're getting all of your preparations done, your shopping done, your gift buying, your gift wrapping, all of the fun stuff that comes with the holiday. I hope you're enjoying it all. And I will see you tomorrow. Right, Winston? We'll see them tomorrow? Does that sound good? Okay, bye.